In the previous chapter, we came to understand who we are. We are the offspring of a universe born of chance, evolving from nothing into bacteria, then into a bony fish, then an amphibian, then an ape, until at last a conscious, reasoning human. Very well, let it be so. But now let us ask, where are we? The Earth on which we dwell is a sphere of nearly 13,000 kilometers in diameter. It spins upon its axis at 1,600 kilometers per hour, completing a full rotation every 24 hours, thus giving rise to the alternation of day and night. It orbits the Sun at a speed of about 110,000 kilometers per hour in an elliptical path inclined at 23.5 degrees, completing its revolution each year and thus bringing about the cycle of the 4 seasons. Meanwhile, our entire solar system whirls around the axis of the Milky Way at roughly 230 kilometers per second, requiring 200 million years for a single revolution. And the galaxy itself rushes through the cosmos at a staggering velocity, one that nears the speed of light. We therefore find ourselves at the very heart of a system in ceaseless motion, governed by 4 distinct movements. Yet curiously, we behold the stars above tracing perfect circles in the sky, with a North Star fixed at the center, though by reason, such motion should appear erratic and chaotic. Be that as it may, let us now attempt to fathom the scale of this universe born, as some say, of chance, and then measure our own smallness in comparison. The nearest celestial body to us is the Moon, about 400,000 kilometers away, with a diameter of nearly 3,500 kilometers. Among the planets of our solar system, the smallest is Mercury, roughly 5,000 kilometers across, while the largest is Jupiter, spanning some 140,000 kilometers. The Sun, however, dwarfs them all, with a diameter of nearly 1,400,000 kilometers, vast enough to contain 100 Earth-sized planets within it. And yet, compared with other stars, the Sun is but a modest flame. Sirius, the dog star, measures nearly 5 million kilometers across. Arcturus spans some 35 million. Antares, the heart of the Scorpion, approaches 1 billion kilometers in diameter, and the colossal Scuti star exceeds 2 billion kilometers. There are hundreds of millions of such stars and stellar systems within our own Milky Way galaxy alone. But beyond stars and planets, when we attempt to reckon the distances between galaxies, the familiar metric scale collapses. Numbers grow meaningless, and we must turn instead to the measure of light. Thus, cosmic distances are gauged in light years. The span a beam of light travels in a year, nearly 10 trillion kilometers. Our Milky Way stretches nearly 100,000 light years across, or approximately 1 quadrillion kilometers. Can you even begin to count such zeros? It borders on madness, numbers that strain the limits of human imagination. So then, can you conceive the size of our galaxy? Or the size of Earth within it? Picture this. If the galaxy itself were shrunk to the scale of our Earth, then our planet would not even equal a grain of sand. And what, then, of you, one solitary human being? The nearest galaxy to us, Andromeda, lies some 2.5 million light-years away. All galaxies drift within Laniakea, a vast cosmic domain 550 million light-years across, containing hundreds of thousands of galaxies. The cosmic web, the great structure that binds them all, is thought to span 8 billion light-years. And the universe itself? It is believed to stretch 250 billion light-years from end to end. And though all these figures are approximate, and at times even contradictory, they nevertheless converge on one truth, that we are speaking in billions of light-years. Can you even begin to fathom such distances, which defy the very capacity of imagination? What is the size of Earth in relation to the cosmos? What is your own size as a human being measured against this immeasurable universe? Scientifically, you are absolute nothingness. A speck drifting in an immense, hostile cosmos, fraught with perils. Earth could vanish in an instant, erased by an asteroid, or even by a wandering rock adrift in the void. It could be scorched by a solar flare, swallowed by a black hole, or besieged by an army of hostile extraterrestrials, beings advanced thousands, perhaps millions of years beyond us. We are infinitesimal, utterly insignificant, hemmed in on every side by agents of annihilation. Man holds no true value, and life itself carries none. And for the second time, this is the lesson meant to be learned. Why? Do not rush toward the answer. What matters is not to forget that this entire universe, they say, emerged by mere chance from the explosion of a particle. That no god shaped it, nor fashioned man. That man simply evolved from bacteria to fish to ape to Homo sapiens who now walks the earth. A planet which, in the cosmic scale, is no more than a grain of dust. This, they tell us, is science. This is the age of science around which we orbit and before which we chant our praises morning and night. It is what we teach our children, once the embellishments that conflict with faith have been stripped away, leaving behind a disfigured creature, a monstrous hybrid, despite every attempt of religious scholars to reconcile the language of science with the language of faith. It remains a monstrosity, for it rests on the doubtful, while forcing the unshakable to conform. But do not imagine I have revealed my purpose. It is far too soon. My hand still holds many cards. Do not close your eyes. Believe me, you will be astonished each time I lay one upon the table. Yet before we proceed, let us cast a question into the air. If we were to grant, for the sake of argument, that the Big Bang Theory is true, that the universe arose from the explosion of a single particle, whence came that particle? Who brought it forth? Who created it? Search as you will, ponder as you may, you will find no answer save this, that there is an infinite God, almighty and boundless, who created us and all that is. The simplest of minds can reach this bare truth with effortless ease. It is the only explanation that satisfies the awakened intellect. Had God not revealed himself to us, had he not declared himself the creator, I would sooner believe that we did not exist at all than assent to such nonsense. Nonsense repugnant even to the inert mind of stone, or stone to possess a mind. And now let us step back for a moment to this planet upon which we dwell. Do you doubt that it is a sphere in motion? The question sounds absurd, does it not? Indeed, it is absurd. For the sphericity of Earth is a self-evident truth, scarcely requiring argument or proof. Children know it instinctively, that Earth is a globe revolving upon its axis and around the sun. Anyone, without exception, can summon to mind the image of this radiant blue sphere, the delicate glassy orb suspended in the void, along with the entire solar system it inhabits. And yet, the truly absurd thing is that we must speak of the proofs of Earth's roundness and of its orbit about the sun, though it is, as said, a matter beyond dispute. Only the ancients once believed otherwise. Only they clung to the conviction that Earth was flat and that sun, moon, and stars circled above it. The pharaohs, the Greeks, the Inca, and countless others all held fast to the notion that Earth was a vast carpet stretched flat, bearing seas, mountains, valleys, rivers, and life itself. At its center, they thought, was the universe's heart, while the sun, moon, and stars traced flawless circles above it, moving with clockwork precision, eternal and unchanged. We shall not linger long over their naive theories or their primitive maps of earth and sky, for in the end they were but peoples whose sciences had not yet matured enough to discern the truth. They lived in utter darkness, in unbroken ignorance, in superstition and backwardness that allowed the flat Earth geocentric model to reign for centuries, until at last the first golden rays of knowledge dawned upon the human mind, when the Greek philosopher Claudius Ptolemy, in the 1st century AD, proposed the spherical model of Earth, drawing on the conjectures of earlier Greek thinkers of the 6th century BC. Yet Ptolemy still affirmed Earth's fixity and centrality, beliefs ratified as well by the religious outlooks of the time, or at least by certain interpretations thereof. His model became the reigning orthodoxy for 14 centuries, and any who dared dissent were branded heretics. The most famous examples are Galileo Galilei, sentenced to death but spared by recantation, living out his final years under house arrest, and Giordano Bruno, condemned by the Catholic Church to be burned alive for heresy, which indeed befell him in Rome in 1600 in the Campo Fiori. The story shifts in the late 15th century, when the cleric and scholar Nicholas Copernicus conceived a new cosmic vision, the heliocentric model, placing the Sun at the center and Earth in orbit around it. It was this model that Galileo and Bruno championed, and for which the Church condemned them. Curiously, Copernicus himself escaped censure, even posthumously. We shall not be drawn here into debates over whether Copernicus borrowed from the Muslim polymath Nasir al-Din al-Tusi, or whether al-Tusi himself had built upon the Greeks, or whether his loyalties compromised his faith. Such wrangling is an endless circle of sophistry. What matters is that humanity advanced by the light of science to proclaim Earth's sphericity and the Sun's centrality, casting aside the old crude models. Though all proofs and evidence affirmed Copernicus, the conflict endured for centuries, between those who clung to flat Earth geocentrism and those who embraced heliocentrism. Day by day, every discovery vindicated Copernicus and exposed the errors of primitive thought. Then came humanity's giant leap in the 20th century, the landing on the Moon, which sealed out with certainty and proved beyond all contest that Earth is a sphere spinning upon its axis and circling the Sun, one planet among others in a solar system. The Sun and its retinue, in turn, revolve around the galactic center, and the galaxy itself sails through the immensity of the universe, truths that over time became self-evident. Thus perished the flat Earth idea, believed only by the simple peoples of antiquity. And yet, pause for thought, you will see that those we have just called simple possess sciences we have yet to rival. Do you not believe me? Search their relics, and you will find that our modern knowledge has not attained their ancient heights. Be that as it may, let us concede that the notion of a flat Earth has crumbled beneath the weight of hundreds of photographs of our planet taken from space, and by irrefutable evidence such as the following. The Sun, the Moon, and all the planets are spherical, and thus the Earth must likewise be a sphere. The Sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Therefore, when one part of the world is bathed in daylight, another lies in darkness. Such a phenomenon is only possible if the Sun is revolving around a globe. Should a man continue journeying eastward, he will inevitably return to the very point from which he departed, for he has circled a sphere. The constellations, too, reveal the Earth's curvature, for the stars seen in the northern hemisphere appear inverted in the southern. Ships vanish on the horizon from the bottom upward, as they slip behind the Earth's rounded edge. During a lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow cast upon the Moon is unmistakably curved. The length of shadows also varies with latitude. Since antiquity, scholars observe that shadows differ from place to place at the same hour. The ancient sage Eratosthenes conducted his celebrated experiment by measuring shadows in Aswan and Alexandria on the same day, thereby demonstrating the Earth's curvature, even calculating its circumference with remarkable precision. Moreover, as one travels northward or southward, the positions of the stars shift. Some celestial bodies disappear from view while others emerge. Gravity, too, offers proof. It always pulls toward the center. Were the Earth flat, gravity would point uniformly downward. Yet in reality, every person, wherever he stands, feels downward as the direction to the planet's core directly beneath him. Finally, the differences in time zones, the variance between east and west, can only be explained by a spherical Earth rotating upon its axis, a truth irreconcilable with the flat Earth hypothesis. And above all, the undeniable images of Earth itself from the void, a shining globe unmistakable to the eye. Who then could still claim Earth to be flat, undermining both the Big Bang and evolution? Yet indeed, there are such voices. So let us descend deeper still into the rabbit hole, towards stranger wonders. Open wide your eyes, and follow me into the roots of a curious tale, the tale of the sun they conceal from us.